Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad, his family and his companions. Jazakumullah khair all for coming. May Allah reward you and bless you all for coming. And today is a very sensitive topic because it talks about the marital problems that people go through all the time. And I know many of you guys are not married, but and some are divorced, and so they went through some stuff. And for the ones that they are married, I don't want you to feel like, oh my gosh, it's just like marriage is such a hard thing and it's a very bad thing. No, it's not like that, you know. But you have to know that there's no perfect life, right? There's no perfect life. No one actually expects the other person to be perfect. And so some conflicts can be you cannot bear it. And some conflicts, it's okay. Sometimes you can't, make it slip. Assalamu alaikum. Can you talk?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, Ruba. Thank you for doing this research. This is marvelous to allow us to some of our concerns in our communities.
Right. So let me go over what we did last time. Last time we did like a research or like some kind of survey about what are the topics that we would like to talk about. Just to let you know about Sister Iman, her real name is Sandra, and she is a revert. She reverted like 20 something years ago, something like that. And she
33
33 years, mashallah. I did this survey to see what are the topics that we want to talk about, and I found out we have 51 responses, and 17, like most of it is 33.3% that talking only about marital problems and depression. That was like the highest number. And now we have here stress. So depression and stress can be related to each other. Then we did another survey this week, and we said, okay, we want to know what is the problems with like marital problems. You're talking about a lot of things, like you're talking about money issues, you're talking about, the intimacy, you're talking about the kids, you're talking, there are so many things we can talk about the marital. So I said, okay, what may cause the problems between the husband and wife? So the 54%, mostly poor communication. Poor communication. Do you see that, Sister Sandra? Sister Iman? And then 48% is money and finances.
Here's another one. And then what's that other one that's
48%, it says cheating. Wow. Cheating.
And communications.
And 42% is sex and intimacy. When I studied counseling back when I was in church, they told me that there are 3 problems that most couple always complain about: money, sex, and communication. Yeah, those are the most ones.
Yeah.
So,
and those are the top 3. Those are usually the top 3
they
across
are,
the board.
yeah,
In all marriages.
Yeah. So let's talk about the top 3. Let's talk first about poor communication.
Yeah, exactly. So does anyone have a situation that they want to share or to speak about specifically? Or is it just in general, do you think that the communication is coming from the fact of maybe age, or are you looking at the fact of the dynamics of culture, or perhaps marrying from a family that is coming, that is integrating into an American culture, an immigrant family, that's coming here for the first time. So people just coming from being in a Middle Eastern country and then coming to America, sometimes there's enormous stress in the economy because you see that there's opportunity, but sometimes it's the dynamic is different because you don't have the social networking as you did in the Middle East.
Right. So please, sisters, the one online, you can raise your hand. By the way, there is a way you can raise your hand if you want to talk. And the ones over here, if you would like to participate, you're welcome to. So just to break the ice, I would like to talk a little bit about my experience with my ex-husband.
I think number one, when I hear something of this nature, it makes me think of trust. it seems like when the trust is not there between the two parties, it can be that each one had some idea behind their mind of what the other person is thinking, what the other person's intention is, what even where their perception of the other person could be completely off of what the person really is. I mean, they may not even know the person they're living with, because they haven't formed a level of communication where they really understand who they are. So they're perceiving them differently than really who the person is. Part of any relationship, the core of any relationship is communication. And the only way to have a healthy relationship is to have healthy communication. Sometimes we may not have learned how to communicate because our role models in our life, maybe our parents, were not having a healthy communication with each other. So those were our most intimate understanding of relationships. So that's one area. But in general, when people don't trust each other enough, they may perceive things in their own mind that might not be real. And in your case, I think, Ruba, he just didn't know who you were, and he really know you, and he kept perceiving something that was not accurate. I mean, was it accurate to think the way he did about you?
But I think that a lot of people don't know what healthy communication is. So can you explain to me, how do you do a healthy communication? What is healthy communication?
Well, healthy communication, I mean, it's based on authenticity, it's based on being genuine and, being honest with yourself and being honest with anyone who, whether it even is a friendship or a partner in marriage. I mean, you have to have that baseline of authenticity. I mean, when you are communicating with someone, the more genuine you are and honest you are, the more depth you're going to have with your relationship. You can't hide, you can't be afraid to communicate your feelings. You have to feel safe. But that also is something that the other person has to make you feel. You can meet somebody and immediately feel very comfortable and safe to tell them your whole life story, and you just met them.
That's so true.
And why is it that you feel that safety? Why do you feel that comfort? You feel like you can trust them. And we go back to that level of that bottom line of trust. And if you don't have that feeling of trust with another individual, I mean, it's kind of like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts that fitra in, puts that in your fitra, like you have in your fitra, you can sense, even when you meet someone, if you can feel safe or you trust them. You'll notice sometimes when you see your children, your babies, they immediately will go to someone and they don't even know them and they feel safe to go to them, and you're wondering, they just met you, and my children are always comfortable, they're ready to go sit on your lap or go to you like an auntie, and you're wondering how this comfort, they know intuitively who they feel they can trust and who they feel safe with. So even animals, you'll find, will come to people naturally. They just meet because they feel safe. So I think this trust issue is major, and developing that and having that is one thing that people need to feel safe with another person in order to communicate. Otherwise, they're going to, withhold their feelings and not feel to share. So sometimes we think we know someone, and they may not be who we thought they were. Do you know what I mean? When we marry someone, the way we marry in Islam, we marry without spending a lot of time getting to know an individual. We don't spend a period of time knowing who we are that we're going to spend the rest of our life with. And so next thing, we're doing all these proper protocols of getting married accurately, the way that Islam says, and then you're all of a sudden in a home with somebody and you don't really have had much time of really knowing them and becoming their friend first before they're your partner. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Right. What about that if a man makes a mistake and he always wants someone to blame his mistakes on him? So for example, anything that like, let's say that he purchased something and it wasn't the right thing. So he'd say, well, you pushed me to buy it. You're the one who told me to do this.
Yeah.
I've seen this a lot with a lot of sisters that they always complain about. Is like, he's always blaming me for everything in the house. He's always like, he's like venting on me all the time.
Like if he makes a decision and
Right.
then he's blaming you for his decision.
Yeah, like he pushed me to do it. You did that for me.
Yeah, why did
That's
they do
because-
that?
Or like, you know, if a woman or like if a man hits a woman, he's like, you pushed me to it. You forced me to hit you, something like that.
Well,
So
Yeah, this
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
is completely.
hold on just a second.
This is
I have
Please.
someone that she wants to participate.
Please.
Go ahead, Rose. Go ahead.
First, I want to say
course.
something like going back to what we were first talking. So it's so funny because I was gonna say, well, how do you make your partner talk with you? Because I'm having trouble. I'm very vocal. I say what I want, how I want it, things done, and this person's very not vocal, you know. And then I was hearing you say about trust, and I was thinking to myself, like, I came from a household where I seen my parents argue and tell each other their faults, you know? And I was like, oh, I know why he's being like that, because he once trusted me with a secret and I threw it at him. You know what I mean? And it's like, no wonder that he's hiding things from me. Do you know what I mean? Like I broke the communication. I broke that trust. And like at first I was gonna be like, but I don't understand why he's like that. But like slowly, like hearing you guys speak, I was like, oh wow, like I broke that trust. So ladies, don't make that mistake.
I'm sorry, who's speaking, please?
Rose,
Who's
come
speaking?
here so she can see you. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know what? I should put that.
Thank you.
Anyone speaking, you need to come and sit next to me so they can see you. So that's
What's your
Rose.
name?
Hi, I'm Rose.
Rose?
Yes.
Hi, Rose. Such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming to
Likewise.
speak. Appreciate that so much. The feedback is so valuable, and we all learn from each other. So I appreciate you sharing that. That was very personal. And sometimes we do make the mistake that we may divulge something. And remember, men are kind of like turtles. You know, they're going to go right back into their shell, and you know, sure if you're going to come out of that shell after they've been hurt. They process a little differently than females. They they may clam up and not speak for a period of time because it takes them a period of time to build that trust. But my avenue, Rose, would be that I would ask him if you can make a time for an appointment to say, you know, I'd like to, you know, share something with you, and can we get together, you know, like schedule like a little date, kind of like, you know, I wanted to spend, you know, the afternoon next Friday after Jummah, or you choose the time, a Saturday, Sunday, and say, I just wanted to go to a park and sit with you or spend some time. And if you can get that really special time, like a date time that you created, and you sit and you look at him and, you know, sort of kind of like face to face, eye to eye, you know, you're either at a picnic table, you know, and you're sitting across, and just say, you know, I want to tell you that there's been something on my heart for a long time. There's something I did that I have felt really, you know, really bad in my heart, guilty that I did something that I know you trusted me, and I feel like I have taken advantage of your trust in me. And I just want you to know how much I would do anything to have you trust me again. And I would never violate that your trust ever again, because, you know, you're my partner in this life, and I definitely, you know, would never want to harm or hurt you again.
Oh, wow.
Simple point, address it, confront it, and you cannot believe it's like washing away like all of the pain. Because men hold things a little bit longer. Every person's different, you know. Some people may be hurt, and it may be a month or 2 or 3. You know, some, you know, it takes them a long time, because trust, even between friends, it takes time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we hurt someone, we're not sure if that we can trust that friend again. It depends on what depends on making that trust evolve and become essentially valuable is when the person hurts me and they come immediately to say, I made an error, I made a mistake, and I love you, you're my friend, I don't want to lose your friendship, but I did this, please forgive me. the
Yeah,
sooner you take action, the faster it's going to heal the entire relationship.
Oh wow. I mean, all I can think about is like, is Rose, let your ego go. Like, let it go, because that is the biggest, and it's I want to be right, So you're absolutely right. I think I have to have that talk, because I feel like I'm more of I said sorry already, like get over it. And maybe I'm a little too forward.
But so
too
it's
dry.
not that you're, no, I mean, I think that there's sometimes we do
And I look like
feel
the
that.
evil one here.
No,
Do I look like
you're
a
not
bad one?
at all.
Okay.
You're just you're being authentic. No, you're
I-
being so authentic because obviously you know the root of the problem.
Yeah.
You're aware. So, and for you to come here and share with us, I applaud you for being so open. This is really a big trust you're giving to me and giving to the audience, or to sharing with, we've got 22 people here. I mean, may Allah reward you for sharing your truth with us. And, and we're here just to support each other as sisters. We're here to support each other so that we can make our lives better, right?
Yes.
So I think that once, a lot of times is, we feel we want things to just get over. Let's move on. Let's just keep going. But what happens is if we keep going and we ignore what happened here, we may make the same mistake again. And that individual, he's already clammed up from this experience, and then something happens again. And now you've compounded that pain. And so then they feel even more lack of trust, or that you don't care. So they misunderstand you thinking you don't care, when really that's the opposite. You wouldn't be in the relationship if you didn't care.
Yes.
But sometimes learning the other person's tempo. For example, someone may be a very fast person, a person who gets things done quickly, who thinks quickly, who acts quickly, who does quickly. And I think that's kind of your nature, that you're a go-getter. I'm going to do this. And we got this. And, this is my checklist. And, and then you've got another person who you're attracted to, who's the opposite of you.
Yes.
Who's slow, who's going to think, who's going to contemplate, who's not going to make a move without being sure of what he's doing, who's going to be cautious. And so your tempos are off, a little bit. He's slow and you're fast, and you want him to go faster and he wants you to go slower. So this can also help be, something that makes someone afraid who's not as fast as you in your acting and thinking. And it's a skill you have, but it doesn't mean that because he's slow, he doesn't have a skill. He still has skills, but he just wants to be cautious because he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, it seems like I make a lot of the mistakes because I'm very impulsive. Even like when I speak, I speak without really like thinking that I'm going to hurt the other person. Wow, is this going to be on the internet?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can take your face away so you don't have to,
No, but Rose, it was a pleasure meeting you, Rose, but I want to say to you this, is that the best thing is nip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. It means like something happened, address it immediately and say, I've been thinking about this, but you don't want to do it like you're driving in a car and say it. And you don't want to do it like just flippantly. Hey, remember that time? You want to make it like almost like an appointment. You want to say, hey, I have a plan. You make a little picnic basket. It's cold right now, but you want to go sit in the park. You want to look at them face to face. You want to have some quality time and just say, look, even if you're going to a restaurant, just say, I just need to tell you, this has been on my heart for a long time. I did something and it's been hurting me because I know that I've hurt you. And I just want to ask you to forgive me. And I want to make sure that I don't do that again.
Wow, you saying this to me, I want to forgive you for nothing. Like you are so convincing. Mashallah, I love you.
No, you are going to be convincing. You are going to do the same thing. You have the skill. Yes, you do. And you're going to
take your advice though. I need to do it that way because I am very dismissive, like just come on, 1, 2, 3. So you're right. I'm going to take it a little slower and apologize genuinely.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
You want to make, the most important thing is you want that person in front of you to feel like the most valuable person in your life. That's what a man wants to feel from a woman. He wants to feel, I'm important. I'm just not like a little puppy dog she's pulling around along with a string. You know what I mean? I'm valuable. I'm important. I mean something, you know, to her. And if you give him your time, your face, your beautiful smile, your eyes, and you say, I made a mistake and I don't want to make another mistake because I love you and I don't want to harm you. You're so valuable to me.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
MashaAllah, mashallah.